Oh, Soup Angel is one of our OGs. Suffering domain, pain and improvement, loss and regrowth, struggle and triumph. Now, I like all those phrases, but I am just going to point out, and I'm nitpicking, but you know I love you. You've been here forever. That's not a complete sentence. This is the way of life for clerics of the suffering domain, constantly seeking trials to learn from and grow stronger. All of this flavor is good, but your sentences have weird structure today, Soup Angel. They hone their bodies and minds to be able to handle pain and deliver it too. In combat, these clerics are able to cause overwhelming pain and misery to their enemies, both physically and mentally, crippling them and allowing the cleric's campaigns to finish them off. Let's look at the spell list. Armor of Agathis, Ray of Sickness, Cloud of Daggers, Flaming Sphere, Catnap, Elemental Weapon, Blight, Phantasmal Killer, Destructive Wave, Steel Wind Strike. I will say, there's a lot of suffering going on in this spell list. I think it's mostly fine. I don't see anything that's sticking out as crazy. It doesn't have the strongest vibe necessarily. Catnap feels a little out of left field, but Phantasmal Killer is a good pick. Bonus proficiency. When you choose this domain at first level, you gain proficiency in martial weapons and learn your choice from either Booming Blade or Green Flame Blade. That is fun, and I like it, which is considered a cleric spell for you. Good. This is good. I like getting the extra cantrip. That's fun. Also at first level, you can increase pain that already exists when a creature you can see within 60 feet of you gains the blinded, deafened, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, or stunned condition. You can force it to make a con saving throw against your cleric spell save DC at no action cost. Okay.
Interesting.
On a failed save, the creature takes 1 level of exhaustion. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot of first level or higher to use it. I think that this probably should... Ooh, look at that. See what I just did there? I think that this should cost more than a spell slot to use again.
I don't necessarily know that I agree, because I don't know how often it's going to be happening, but I think it should consume your reaction, at the very least.
That might actually be all I care about. Because I could make this happen 4 times in a turn if I have the spell slots. You could kill creatures in 1 round very easily, regardless of any of their stats other than con.
Yeah, I don't think you should be able to do this more than a round. I think it should be reaction based.
Exhaustion's pretty strong. By level 6, you die.
Another thing that you could do to bring it in line is make the level of exhaustion tied to the effect. So the level of exhaustion is reduced when the triggering effect is lost.
Oh, interesting. Now, the feature itself, I'll say, I think fits the vibe of the suffering domain really well. Because it's literally, you are taking the suffering of a condition and making it more amplified. That's nice. That's a very nice flavor meets mechanic moment right here, Soup Angel. Very nice. Channel Divinity. Crushing pain. Crushing pan. What if it was just a big old pan? As an action, you present your holy symbol and cause untold agony to overcome a creature you can see within 30 feet of you. The target must make a Constitution saving throw against your cleric spell save DC. The target has disadvantage on the saving throw if it has less than half its maximum hit points. On a failed save, the target is stunned for a number of rounds equal to your Wisdom modifier. The target can make its saving throw at the end of each of its turns. I don't like that it's the same saving throw as the first level feature. You want to diversify your saving throws a little bit, I think.
What is it, con save both times?
Yeah, con save both times.
This one, interestingly enough, feels almost more like a wisdom save. It feels like an act of will to avoid being stunned here.
In terms of what it actually does...
It's Stunning Strike, but
it's stunning
better.
Is it better?
It's
you get it less than Stunning Strike. It's just more, just more powerful. But you also get a lot earlier.
But it's also not behind both... Stunning Strike, correct me if I'm wrong, is behind both an attack and a save, right?
Yes, it is. That's true. So it's just the save.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the end of the world.
Especially because you're only getting to use this, once at 3rd level?
Yeah, or Channel Divinity you get at 1st level, don't you? Soup Angel chiming in saying Channel Divinity is 2nd level. Cool. I like it conceptually. I don't like how mechanically it... I just don't like... Change the save.
I like that it procs Amplify Affliction. Which, again, if you're using your reaction, there's like a cool sort of layup that you're setting yourself up for there.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch. I wonder if that's why Soup initially made it cost no action.
A
could.
reaction would still be fine here. You can use reactions on your turn.
Oh no, I know. I just want to. I
Yeah,
wonder if that was their intention.
probably. Yeah.
With that, because sometimes you want to squeeze that power in. You want to get strong. Let's see what we get at 6th level. Strength from Suffering. Starting at 6th level, you are able to let your pain drive you in your revenge. This is so nitpicky, Soup Angel, but you're here for it, so I know you don't mind. Is this a revenge-based subclass? Why are we driving our revenge? Why aren't we just driving towards pain? I want to be a Suffering Domain Cleric that has no feeling of vengeance. I want to give people the glory of pain, doing it out of love, not out of vengeance. When you take damage from a creature you can see, you swear vengeance against it as a reaction. On your next turn, your strength, dexterity, and wisdom modifiers are all doubled for the purposes of spell save DC, attack rolls, and damage rolls against that creature. You can do this a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. I think this should require a saving throw.
I also don't know that I love it as a reaction.
I think the idea is you get it for a turn. That's the goal, I think.
Yeah. When you take damage on your next turn, yeah, but why not set it up as a bonus action for this turn?
Because you don't really take damage on your turn that often.
Well, you could not necessarily constrain it to a target that's dealt damage to you. Again, if we're trying to wave away the vengeance motif.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you're just giving the gift.
You're just marking someone for pain. It's basically just a super souped up kind of hunter's marky type thing.
Yeah, being able to give anyone suffering is what they want to do, not just the people that hurt them. They want to give everyone suffering.
I also wonder if the right mechanic is to buff yourself against them, or would it make more sense to figure out how to nerf them in similar ways?
That's not a bad idea either.
Disadvantage on things, disadvantage on any check against your spell save DC, that kind of thing.
Disadvantage on strength, wisdom, dex
Something
checks against you. Yeah.
Not 100% sure where to go with this one, but I think it stems from wanting to think through a little bit more what fiction you're trying to sell at 6th level here.
Mm-hmm. Should it get it wisdom modifier times per long rest? I think it's strong enough that you're getting too much access to it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Compare this to like a light cleric, where what they get is they can use their reaction to give a creature disadvantage on an attack roll.
Yeah, which is really not that much. That's fair.
So I think it's a little too strong for the amount of times you can get it. But I think that the idea of you picking a creature and being like, you shall be the one that suffers, and it will be so much fun, is fits the vibe. Divine Strike makes sense. What damage type did you pick? Necrotic? That's fair.
Cinder.
Yeah, that's me.
Cinder.
I'm Cinder.
Could you do magical piercing damage? Is that stupid?
No, it's fun. Why? Yeah, you could do it. It's not going to have a non-impact. The more that I think about it, the more I think it's really fun, actually.
Yeah.
Because it's a little weird. This is really a physical pain. This is not a mental duress cleric. This is truly like, I want you to not feel good on the outside and that it can seep into the inside.
I think there's like a Crown of Thorns vibe with magical piercing damage. That's
magical piercing damage also sounds... Can you imagine like what that looks like on your mace? Like, how would you describe that? Like ethereal spines, or like anytime you wield a weapon, it grows gnarly, sharp edges. Yeah.
100%.
Okay, you sold me. Magical piercing damage, I think, is the move. It is weird, but I think it's the move.
Someone pointed out from chat that Pain's Endurance should be a 17th level feature, and it is labeled as 14th level.
Ah, the old typo gets us every time. Yes. Pain's Endurance at 17th level. You are able to endure the hardest of hardships. At the start of each of your turns, you regain 5 hit points if you have no more than half your hit points left.
Does that feel like enough for 17th level?
It's maybe not on a cleric.
I mean, you are going to be in the fray. This is a Divine Strike cleric.
Yeah.
Your bonus proficiencies are martial weapons.
But 17th level, when is anything at 17th level, when is anything hitting you for less than 25 damage?
Yeah.
So is it that strong?
Yeah. I think that you could rework this to be about damage negation instead of damage regeneration, and that could potentially be fun because that could screw with that could help your concentration at high levels as well.
Oh, that's true. What if you had if you had some innate pain resistance that wasn't like damage resistance, it was like a damage threshold or something like that, where it's like you
Something
just
to that
like
effect.
pain. If you take bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage from a single target equal to 10 or less, you take no damage.
Something to that effect, or a resource constrained like 1 or 3 times per long rest, the ability to if you take less than half your maximum HP in a single strike, you can half it or nullify
Mm.
it entirely, right? Something in that universe.
Yeah, if you make it a once a day feature, you can make it really nutty.
Yeah, 100%.
Overall though, I feel like this is in a pretty good spot, Soup Angel, all things considered. Sixth level needs attention, change a couple words around, fix your sentence structure. I think that this is really solid. Early level feels really solid. Make Khan a different saving throw in one of these just to shake it up. And it'll also just make the character stronger. What you don't want to have happen is if you're entirely relying on one stat to hurt a creature, when you fight a creature that has 1,000,000 in that stat, it's just like, I'm not playing a fun game. You want to have options. Nice flavor. Feels very Eldar or Hellraiser.